Good morning, all. Myself, Kevin Jacob, second year computer science student at Mar Basilius College of Engineering and Technology, Thiruvananthapuram, and the facilitator for Google's 30 Days of Cloud program. So, before getting started with cloud-related terminologies, I thought of discussing few of the steps followed by companies during the bygone days in order to set up the servers and to deploy that code. And before that, I thought of just describing you the various informations which we will be discussing today before the end of the session. It includes the first one includes the before cloud computing. The second one is what's cloud computing. Third one is the type of cloud computing. Fourth one will be the major features of cloud computing. The fifth one will be the virtual machine manager. And the sixth one will be the virtual machine. And the seventh one will be the major cloud computing services. And also, finally, we will be ending up the session by discussing Google's various cloud computing services. So let's discuss what companies or the corporates did during the bygone days when they need to deploy their code and also to host their application. Consider we were in a time before cloud computing. If you want to deploy a big social networking site or an e-commerce application, what are the steps you will follow? The first step you will be following is that you will have to purchase the server, right? First of all, you have to purchase the server. And the second step is that you will have to transport the server from the shop to your company. And the third step will be you will have to configure the server with the required hardware and software. Let me repeat. The first thing you go to do is that you go to purchase the server. The second one is that you go to transport the server from the shop to your company. And the third one will be you have to configure your server with the required hardware and softwares. After that only you can deploy your application. Consider that within few months, the traffic into your application increases. Then you have to buy multiple servers. Rather than maintaining a single server, you have to buy multiple servers, transport them, configure them. And this process is called as scaling. Actually, it's a really important term when it comes to cloud computing. And that's all about when a small company or a small corporate try to deploy their application. Consider another scenario. What if your application gains international attention? Then number of visitors in your application increases exponentially. So what the firms during the bygone days do is that they will start to set up data centers. Rather than setting up few or handful number of servers, they would rather set up data centers. So what is a data center? Data center is nothing but a collection of servers working together. Ultimately, the major problem faced by such a kind of scaling by individual firms is that they go to be investing millions of dollars in establishing such a very large infrastructure, and it's a really hectic task for individual corporates. So these all are actually the ways in which companies during the bygone days used to set up the server. Let me repeat it once more. The first step you go to do here is that you go to purchase the server. The second one is that you go to transport the server from all the way from the shop to your company. And the third one is that you go to integrate your server with the necessary softwares and hardwares. Then you go to deploy the application. Then what if the number of people visiting your application or the traffic increases? You go to be installing multiple servers, configuring them, and this process is called scaling. And when your application gains international attention, you go to be setting up data centers. But the question here is that should we have to follow the same old steps nowadays too? The answer is no, because there are companies that have spent years in building data centers. One of the companies is Google. Cloud computing happens when these companies allow you to share data and run code in their computing infrastructure. Thus, individual firms need not set up dedicated data centers, but rather purchase the needed resources from the cloud services. So I hope that you guys have got a clear idea regarding cloud, even before defining the term what is actually cloud. So now let's define what's cloud computing. Cloud computing is the process of renting resources like storage space, CPU cycles on other companies' computers. You can only pay for what you use. The major providers include Microsoft, Amazon, as well as Google. Now, let's discuss about the different types of cloud computing. The different types of cloud computing include infrastructure as a service, software as a service, as well as platform as a service. These three are the major types of cloud computing. Now, let's discuss what is infrastructure as a service. Infrastructure as a service provides services such as storage, networking, etc. Let me cite an example for that. It includes DigitalOcean, Google App Engine. These all are examples for infrastructure as a service. When it comes to platform as a service, it provides hardware as well as software tools that are available over the internet. And when it comes to software as a service, it includes software that's available via a third party. It includes Google's Workplace. So that's all about the different types of cloud computing. Now, let's move on to the major features of cloud computing. The major features of cloud computing includes it's elastic. The first one, the second one is pay as you go, and the third one is that it's secure. First one is that it's elastic. What does that mean? It means that if your business or if your corporate's traffic increases exponentially, you can easily add more resources to your already existing resource. And also, if what if your business becomes dull, you can easily remove the resources and you can scale down your business. The second one is pay as you go. You only need to pay for the services you use. Like even if you have purchased large storage or servers, but you have only used very less, you have only consumed very less storage as well as servers, then you only need to pay for that. You need not pay for all the servers or all the storage you have bought. The third one is that it is secure. It means that the data stored in cloud is secure as well as safe. That is, the data, each and every data stored in the cloud is properly backed up. So there is no need of worry that our data will get erased and all. Now, let's discuss one of the most important topic regarding cloud. It's about virtual machine manager. So what is a virtual machine manager? It's a type of software that allows users to run an operating system within another operating system. Let me repeat. Virtual machine manager is nothing but a software that allows us to run an operating system within another operating system. It kind of sounds like Inception. Yeah, it's true. And the few of the examples for virtual machine managers include VirtualBox as well as VMware. Now let me describe what is a virtual machine. I have included a picture of a Mac. When we take a look, we can understand that the base operating system here is Mac OS 10, the base operating system in which the system works. And by using a machine manager, after installing virtual machine manager, what we did here is that we installed two virtual machines. The first virtual machine is a Windows 8. You can see it at the right top, and a Windows 7, which is at the Windows 8, which is at the left top corner, as well as Windows 7 at the right bottom corner. So both of them act as a virtual machine, which are actually installed in another base operating system. And the another base operating system here is that Mac OS 10. That's how we can set up virtual machines within a virtual machine within a particular operating system. And the virtual machine manager helps us to incorporate both the virtual machines within the same operating system. So now let's discuss the major computing services of cloud. The major computing services of cloud includes, first one is compute, the second one is storage, and the third one is machine learning and AI. These three are the major computing services that are provided by cloud. Now let's discuss what is compute. Compute helps us to deploy code to the cloud. Like when you need to deploy an application, like if you're a company which is operating an e-commerce website or social networking site, you can deploy your code to cloud by using computing services. That's all about compute. When it comes to storage, you are able to store data, you are able to retrieve data as well as query data by using Google's as well as Google's storage services. And when it comes to machine learning and AI, we can use Google's AI technology to incorporate in our application. And also even we can deploy ML models. And also there are a lot of APIs which are available through Google's cloud platform. It includes Vision API. By using Vision API, we can integrate these features into our application, and we can scale our application. So when it comes to the cloud computing services which are provided by Google, it includes compute, data transfer, IoT, management tools, big data, cloud AI, identity and security, networking, storage and database, and compute. And we have discussed compute, storage, as well as ML and AI in the previous slide. So that's all about today's session. Before That's all about today's session. Just let me conclude the session by saying that cloud is rapidly advancing field and it's capable of transforming your business to greater heights. That's it for today's session. Hoping that each one of you have got a brief idea regarding cloud. Thank you so much for your time and participation. See you all soon. In case of any doubts, you can just put it in the chat box so that I can respond to that. I guess they aren't facing any kind of difficulties or doubts. So it's time to wind up, right? I guess it's time to wind up the session. Thank you so much, guys, for your time. We'll actually, what's the difference between AWS, GCP, and Azure? It's actually a very nice question. And the answer to that particular question is that AWS is a service which is provided by Amazon. When it comes to GCP, it is provided by Google. And when it comes to Azure, it's provided by Microsoft. Any more questions? Feel free to ask. I guess there isn't any doubts in the chat box. So let's wind up the session by let me end the broadcast. Thank you so much, guys, for your time, for your patience, and all. Thank you so much, guys. Bye.